These are simple, easy to follow instructions how we cast our faux limestone copings. These copings age beautifully. They are rough enough to be non-slippery, and they're great for traction. We've tied this through the entire site, so we have these limestone copings everywhere, from stairs to copings to other areas. The first step is the framing process, which is very simple. It's basic carpentry. You basically have L-shaped forms that you tie together at the ends. And make sure you have rebars cantilevered over the edges. That's very important so they don't break off. These oversized clamps make a really good job of this because you can hold things in place while you're screwing it. So here we're over securing the forms so that they don't move during casting. And it's important that you have the angles on this correct and that the lumber is good and straight and true. Makes a huge difference if you can have straight lines on your work because it looks so much better. Believe it or not, we fill our forms with an incredibly rich and thick dry mix. And this gets us to our finishing process a lot quicker. We tamp it in, and our big secret is we vibrate it. And the vibrator just turns this into soup again, even though it's like super thick. Everything is completely organized. The outer skins are really well organized when you vibrate it like this, and they finish really nice. You have no voids. Here we're adding white cement on top of the coping. What we do is we work it in. We find that if we work in the white cement first on top of the gray, the finish looks a lot better, and especially for steps, it lasts a lot longer. So here we've applied the white, first coat of white, and we've thrown sand on top. We have to work across because it's drying quickly. Here we're throwing the dry sand on top of the other layer of white cement we've put on. And this gives us this mottled look, and it actually ages beautifully because it's so rough. Organic material gets caught, and it just turns beautiful after about 2 to 3 months. So we have to be very cautious that all our copings and stairs look the same, which they do. It's just a matter of continuously doing the same effect. Don't change your process in the middle of a job so that your entire site looks uniform. Here we're applying another layer of white on top just so it tones down the gray washed sand. Makes it a little bit more uniform and mottled, which is really important. If you have any of these lines that are crooked, it shows up. Like it shows up horribly. So make sure that your lines are double checked with string lines. Just don't rely on the wood. Just use a string line as well additionally. The demolding process is incredibly tricky on this because if you do it too soon, it falls apart. If you do it too late, it's impossible to carve the exposed cement on the edges. So you have to sort of take a gamble on this and just check a little bit in between. When you demold these molds, you have to be cautious. We don't like to use oils or soaps or anything like that because we want to be able to fix little holes or anything and rub in the white cement. If we had soap on here, the white cement wouldn't go into this wet cement, semi-wet cement. So getting these molds off without any release agent is quite tricky. You have to be very cautious and make sure you do it with 2 or 3 guys. Knock it loose a little bit, get it to work out really well, and they will come off. You just have to take your time. And you might peel a little bit of the skin off with it, but that's what patching is for. You can get a little bit of patching going. Here we've taken it off. As you can see, there's like an oily skin on it. Here what we've done is we've exposed it, and we always like to put white. We rubbed it in on the sides. You have to rub in this white cement as well. Here I'm adding some lines into the side finish, and these details, they show up incredibly well. It's very odd. We actually put veins in this as well. The veins really make it look real. And if you can see closely, we actually have a layer showing through. So there's a difference. On the corner there's no white cement, and the other one has white cement that has been worked in. So this bottom edge, boy, you really need to deal with this bottom edge at this stage. Don't use a grinder or whatever because it looks so different. And the That bottom edge, if you get that nice, it sure looks good. If you're sitting on the stairs and you look at that, it has to look really good. And here I'm cutting a vein through the entire surface. I'm going to have it run through both sides. Looks very realistic if you do it. Again, this edge, like, it really shows up. So just use the edge of the wood to push it in tightly, and you can run your trowel across it. So here's the final touch. We're throwing the last layer of sand. We're going to do one more layer of white cement on top of this just to knock down the sand. A lot of the sand will fall off when you take a garden hose to it. It is important to make sure you do the process equally. Here's the second coping. What we're doing here is the top edge is just as important as that bottom edge. Make sure you dig it in nicely, because those edges, boy, they show up. Like, if you have them a little bit off, they don't look very good. Working with 2 guys, 3 guys really helps, because you have maybe 15 minutes to get this to work. So here I'm applying the white cement, and Pablo's coming behind and rubbing it in as hard as he can. And then it gets another layer on top of that again, and then the gray sand. And if you go through these processes the same, you will get a look that is unified. That unified look is very important. And getting the veining right, getting the details. So spend your time on that. You have 20 minutes probably before it gets too hard for you to do anything, depending on the weather. Don't pick a day where the sun is brutal. It just will dry this stuff out. Pick an overcast day if you can. Work your way through it. Look for little areas that aren't good. Put some more cement, white cement on it. The white cement will attach itself to that gray cement incredibly well, and make it work really well for you. So this is the process. Follow the steps. It's not hard. These steps will reward you for years to come.